had his guards around it. Good sized area, beautiful area, pleasing area, nice area that they could live in as salafee. Get up in the morning, hear adhan, and go to the masjid and pray behind Jamil ar-Rahman. Learning Tawheed and Sunnah, eating halal. This is going on when? When a full-scale war is going on. This is happening when? When a full-scale war is going on. You cut off some territory just for sanity. Got schools set up. Women taken care of. Clinics. Hospitals. That type of thing. I'm talking about he established what they call a Dawah. Government. That which the Ikhwan have been crying about in this one. He established it. At the time of war, in the middle of war, he established it. Oh, they say if you would have just seen kunut. If you had smelled kunut. If you had sat in kunut. If you had dreamed kunut. If you had been there eating kunut with the people in kunut. Learning in kunut. Hearing Quran in kunut. Sunnah in kunut. Meeting your brothers. Just a beautiful situation. Then one day. And that day comes for all of us. Our Shaykh Rahimhullah had a policy that out of respect for the Arabs, they are not to be searched. This one comes searching, that one comes searching, but the Arabs, none of them too, man. I'll be patting him down. I'll get away from him. The Shurafa, he's some of the noble ones. And the Arabs, don't you know that the Arabs are the ones who supported Spain's Islam from the beginning? That was his policy. Out of what? Spain. So there came this day in which here comes some Arabs. MashaAllah. Arabs and Qumr, yes. The Arabs were called Afghanis, those who went to a fight. Many of them creating confusion right now were the ones who learned explosive techniques and the like in Afghanistan. So they can come on, and benefit the Muslims by blowing up the Muslim government and killing the Muslims and all that. Of course, I'm joking. But that's what they came and did. They learned over there, not something to destroy the enemy, but to come home and destroy the Muslims. So they come in, and amongst them is this individual, and his name escapes me now. It's not important that we mention the name of this dog. Nevertheless, Sheikh is meeting everybody, shaking hands, squeezing all night, everything sweet. Anybody need anything to eat? Anybody need anything? Some orange juice? You want this, want that? So the brother said, brother, all I want to do, Sheikh, is read some Quran with you. Because I know what's happening. Right? Sheikh was something else. Quran. Want to recite some Quran I recited with you? Any type of khata, any type of mistake I got? My idgham, the ghunna, or the ghayra ghunna is off. My mean sakin ain't right, my ra ain't cool. Lay it on me, Sheikh. I want to learn what? The book of Allah. I want to learn the book of Allah, the recitation of Quran, bit tajweed. I said, MashaAllah, faddal. Ahlan wa sahlan. Sheikh sat down, and he sat down. He started reciting. MashaAllah. Like that. And he's gone, man. Sheikh, oh man. MashaAllah, beautiful, Sheikh checking this and checking that. Everything's alright. Now it's time to go. Sheikh get up. The man pulls a revolver from his pocket, shoots the Sheikh in the head 3 times. Reading Quran with them, then blowing his head off. Ikwaanul Mufliseen, that's their way. Ikhwani, that's their way. Blew him in the head 3 times. Took his life. A life full of Tawheed, full of Sunnah, full of salafee. Never fought anyone but the kafir. Never killed anyone but the kafir. Never directed his weapon towards anyone but the kafir. Had such a respect for the Arabs, they let him in without what? Checking him whatsoever. Shot him in the head. Because the Shaykh a fool? No, he's a fool. Because al-aqibah, and don't you forget it, al-aqibah lil-muttaqeen, the final result is for the righteous. So such had happened to our Shaykh, dying in the path of Allah, establishing that where he could almost see himself clear, where the dream was almost something that he could reach, the establishment of a Dawiyyah, of an Islamic government in Afghanistan, upon Quran, upon Sunnah, upon the Manhaj salafee. And who pulled away from them? Oh no, it wasn't the Russians. No, it wasn't, at least directly. The Americans? No. It was Ikwaanul Mufliseen, the Muslim Brotherhood, because they want khair for us. They want good for us. Don't think that it's over. They say the principle is what? We work with one another upon the matters that we what? Agree upon. The principle. And we excuse one another about those matters that we disagree upon. They gathered with who? With every Sufi group in Afghanistan. With every Sufi Batini group they could get, and with drug smugglers. Those who traffic in drugs and opium, they joined with them. And they gathered together and had one big army, and they went and destroyed the whole village and area of the Shaykh, killing every salafee they could find. Killing every salafee that they could find, because they work with those who they can agree with. The communists. Dope smugglers. Imagine getting with the dope man and killing a brother. Killing with the dope man and taking a brother out. Well, they took out a whole village. Killing those who have memorized Quran. Killing those who have studied Hadith. Killing those who have fought upon a battlefield to raise the banner of Allah Ta'ala high. Who shed no blood except the blood of the mushrik, or straight up kafir. They gathered together, brother, and they got all their strength, and they went in there and they tore up Kuna. They blew everyone away that they could, children and everything, because what? It's a Dawah. What? They want to start Islamic government. What? They want a program of Hassan al-Banna. So when the Shaykh says here, they have a hatred for the people of Tawheed, then he says, and the example of this is the killing of Jamil ar-Rahman and Afghani. Man, don't ever forget him. Don't you ever forget him. Because he called it Tawheed. The one who had schools teaching Tawheed. So they took him out. They took him out. Yes. You're Egyptian. Ikwaanul Mufliseen. You're Algerian. Ikwaanul Mufliseen. You're Tunisian. Ikwaanul Mufliseen. You're Sudanese. Ikwaanul Mufliseen. Oh, the Arabs. You're Lebanese. Ikwaanul Mufliseen. They took out those who bore witness to the fact that nothing has the right to be worshipped except Allah alone, without any associate. They took out those who were the first of those who placed their weapons upon their shoulders to face the red destruction of the communists. They took out those who read Quran night and day. They took out those who called to the Sunnah. Why? Because they hate Tawheed. Because they hate Tawheed. Do you know what you're dealing with? When you bump into Ikhwani in the elevator, or when you come across him in a restaurant, do you know what you're dealing with? Why? You don't know what you're dealing with, the vast majority. Don't know how sick he is. Wondering why we saying Ikhwani is a problem. Why we saying don't sit with the Ikhwani. Why we want to say this man's Ikhwani? Because they're capable of doing the things we just mentioned. They're capable of doing the things we just mentioned. Their harm upon Islam and the Muslims for the last 80 or more years that they've been in existence has been horrendous. has been horrendous.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim.
Seventh, كراهتهم لأهل التوحيد, their hatred for the people of Tawheed. Yes, an Ikhwani will hate you. Yes, an Ikhwani won't want to deal with you. That individual who was from the so-called Muslim Brotherhood, he don't want to be brothers with you, because he has a hatred for the people of Tawheed, and he has a hatred for Ashab Tariqat al-Salafiyya, the people from the way of the Salaf. وَبُغْضُهُمْ لَهُمْ, he hates them. وَتَبَيَّنَ ذَلك, and this is shown من كلامه في دولة السعودية. It's when they talk about the Saudi government, التي قامت على التوحيد, that was established upon Tawheed, وتدرس التوحيد في مدارسها, and Tawheed is taught through all of its various levels of learning, ومعاهدها, and its institutes, وجامعة, and its universities. ومن قتلهم, their killing, the Ikwaanul Mufliseen, their killing of Jamil ar-Rahman al-Afgani. Anybody know who Jamil ar-Rahman al-Afgani is? Huh? Big Shaykh. Where's your list? Where's your list, baby? Seriously, anybody know who he is? Here we go. Time is cool. Bismillah, alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. We'll go back to, now you know, but you got revelation. Oh man, don't give me that stuff, man. You sound like he's talking about a fighter. I mean, he was good in his weight class, but he didn't have a hook. I'm not asking that, okay? I'm asking about the man. I'm asking about, where he was, what he was into. If you don't know none of that, let me go ahead and slide into this. If you know what's happening with it, you know what I'm saying, then fine, take it. I mean, he seemed to be chewing gum. I don't know what he's waiting on. Jamil ar-Rahman, Rahimhullah, Rahmatan wasi'ah. See, there's more than this little sitting and these few words that we would say here. As a matter of fact, we have had in the past done durusa about his life. So there's a book by Shaykh Mukbil, students regarding the man's life. That's very nice. He was one of the original fighters in Afghanistan. They were the first to fight the Russians. Before anybody else got up and did anything. Before anybody else got organized. They, the Salafees, under the leadership of Jamil ar-Rahman, were the first one to come in conflict and actual physical fighting with the Russians, Soviet Union. Jamil ar-Rahman. Jamil ar-Rahman was a scholar in the general sense of the word, knowing the book of Allah Ta'ala, the Sunnah of the Messenger sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and the way to Salaf Salih. Loved by most of the scholars that knew him. I personally knew his nephew, who was at that time a student in Islamic University of Medina, and he used to keep us abreast of all matters going on. You have to understand that at that time, the Afghanistan, the war was going on, and was going on hot and hard, because the Soviets had invaded Afghanistan with the intent to subject the Muslims to communism, and with the intent of obtaining 500 years of oil, which is under the soil, and with the intent of obtaining the opium, which is big money, and other reasons like this. And so, Jamil ar-Rahman, Rahimhullah, entered into the ma'araka, the battle, and they fought. Now you have to understand that in this period of time there were jama'at, groups. And each of these groups had their particular man and their particular afkar and their particular dawah and their particular methodology. Pretty much how it is today. Unfortunately, we haven't seen them learn much. each of them having a certain jabha, area that they took. And so therefore you had difference amongst them, I really don't want to mention the Ahl al-Bidah. Let somebody else do that. But each of them in different areas fighting. وَوَاللَّهِ الْحَمْدِ Shaykh Jamil ar-Rahman, Rahimhullah, Rahmatul Wasi'ah, was able to push back the Soviets. And with his men on Tawheed and Sunnah and the Manhaj al-Salih, no expounds. Everybody had a lihya. Everyone on the Tawheed. Everybody was Sunnah. Everybody believing in the Aqeedah of Ahl Sunnah. The Prophet believed in Allah, His angels, His books, His messengers and prophets, the last day and decree, His good and His evil, and the resurrection. Believing in Tawheed Allah Ta'ala, fi rububiyyatihi, His Lordship, wa uluhiyyatihi, the fact that He alone should be worshipped, wa asma alone should be worshipped, wa asma wa sifatih, His names and qualities. Everybody, everyone who carried actually had the weapons in his camp, from the youngest to the oldest, salafee, mia bil mia, salafee 100%, my man. Salafee and men on the battlefield, salafee and men killing the kafir, that kafir dog, that kafir dog, that kafir fool, that kafir freak, that kafir. Why? Because the communists didn't believe in the existence of Allah. For it was Marx, as he said, religion was the opium of the masses. So religion was of no importance, which led the people to Ibahiyya. Ibahiyya is where you do anything you want to do. While you're in a mood for a donkey, go ahead, man, take care of your business with that donkey. Like this. So they killed many of the Muslims because they had the overwhelming weaponry. They had air support and ground support. So they killed many. But Shaykh Jamil ar-Rahman, Rahimhullah, was able to carve off an area called Kunur. K-U-N-U-R. Kunur. Carved it off. Got rid of everything that was haram. Set up the Sharia.